This ring is embarrassing, Chelsea screamed, hurling the diamond solitaire straight at my face. The platinum band I'd saved 8 months for bounced off my cheek and clattered across Morton's steakhouse floor. Come back when you can afford something decent, Brandon. Blood trickled down my face as the entire restaurant went silent. But Chelsea had no idea who she was really dealing with. What happened next would destroy everything she thought she knew about me. If you've ever been disrespected by someone who judges your worth by your wallet, smash that like button, because this story will show you exactly what happens when entitled people mess with the wrong person. The humiliation was complete. I'd planned the perfect proposal: private dining room, roses delivered, her favorite restaurant. Chelsea took one look at that 1-carat diamond, and her face twisted with pure disgust. "You've got to be kidding me," she hissed, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. "My sorority sister got a 3-carat from her boyfriend. He's just a real estate agent." "Chelsea, it's a beautiful ring." "It's pathetic." She held it up like it personally offended her. "What will people think when they see this tiny thing? I can't post this on Instagram." Every eye in the restaurant was on us. The elderly couple next to us looked mortified. Our waiter had frozen mid-step. "I saved 8 months for this ring," I said quietly. "Then you should have saved for 2 years, she snapped. "Or gotten a second job. My friends are gonna laugh at me." Here's what I should have said. "The only embarrassing thing here is your behavior." Instead, like an idiot, I tried to reason with her. We could exchange it for something bigger. Her eyes lit up with pure greed. "There's this Tiffany setting I want. 3 carats, princess cut, only 18,000. Only 18,000. More than I made in 6 months after taxes and student loans. But here's where everything changed. Instead of begging or apologizing, something clicked in my brain. This woman just threw jewelry at my face because it wasn't expensive enough. You know what? I stood up, my voice carrying across the silent restaurant. You're absolutely right. I'm clearly not ready to marry someone who measures love by carat weight. I picked up the ring from the floor. Keep the dinner, I told our waiter, pulling out my wallet, and add a 20% tip. This lady won't be finishing her meal. Chelsea's jaw dropped. Brandon, wait. No? We're done. I walked out with my head high while Chelsea sat there with her mouth hanging open. The maître actually nodded respectfully as I passed. But that was just the beginning of the most brutal 2 weeks of my life. Within 24 hours, Chelsea had spun the story to our entire friend group. According to her version, I was a cheap loser who embarrassed her with a fake ring and stormed out when she gently suggested we look at other options. The group chat messages started immediately. Messages I wasn't supposed to see, but mutual friends were screenshot and sending them to me. "Chelsea, can you believe Brandon proposed with a tiny ring?" I was so embarrassed I could barely say yes. Then he threw a tantrum when I suggested looking at better options. "Jess, wait, what? That doesn't sound like Brandon." "Trust me, guys show their true colors when you don't worship their effort." He literally left me at the restaurant. Dude, that's harsh. Maybe he just couldn't afford more? Then he shouldn't have proposed. A real man waits until he can do it right. Reading those messages felt like getting punched in the gut repeatedly. These were people I'd considered close friends, and half of them were buying Chelsea's lies without even asking for my side. The worst part? Some of our mutual friends started treating me differently. Conversations would stop when I walked into rooms. Invitations to group hangouts mysteriously stopped coming. By Friday, I realized I'd lost half our friend group. But the friends I kept? They were the real ones. The ones who asked for my side of the story before choosing sides. "Maybe you should just apologize," my roommate Kevin suggested after I showed him the screenshots. "Smooth things over, you know?" "Apologize for what?" I snapped. "For not going into debt to buy her approval?" "I'm just saying, dude, Chelsea's really popular in the group. This could get ugly for you socially." And it did get ugly. Real ugly. For 2 weeks, I questioned everything. Maybe I was cheap. Maybe I should have gone into debt for a bigger ring. Maybe every guy goes through this, and I was just too weak to handle it. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, kept replaying that moment over and over, wondering if I'd overreacted. But something happened at work that changed my perspective forever. Marcus Chen, our VP of Operations, noticed I was off my game during our Monday team meeting. "Brandon, stick around," he said after everyone else left. "You look like hell. What's going on?" I hadn't planned to tell him anything. Marcus was my mentor, someone I respected enormously. But something about his genuine concern broke down my walls. "I proposed to my girlfriend last weekend," I said. "It didn't go well." "She said no?" "She said the ring was embarrassing and threw it at my face." Marcus went completely still. "She threw it at your face?" I touched the cut on my cheek. "Right here." Marcus leaned back in his chair, his expression darkening. "Brandon, I've known you for 3 years. You're one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. Reliable, honest, treats everyone with respect. The fact that this woman would humiliate you in public tells me everything I need to know about her character." But maybe she was right. "Stop, let me tell you something." Marcus pulled out his phone and showed me a picture of his wife. "When I proposed to Linda 15 years ago, I was making $32,000 a year and driving a car with a broken air conditioner. You know what ring I could afford?" Linda's ring was simple, a small diamond in a basic gold setting. It cost me $800. I saved for 4 months. And you know what Linda said when I gave it to her? "What?" She said yes before I even finished asking the question, because she saw the love behind it, not the price tag. That's the difference between a woman worth marrying and a gold digger. Something in my chest loosened for the first time in 2 weeks. "You didn't dodge a bullet, Brandon. You dodged a nuclear missile. But our whole friend group thinks I'm the bad guy." Let me ask you something. If you lost your job tomorrow, which of those friends would still have your back? And which ones would disappear the moment you couldn't afford to split expensive dinner bills? I thought about it honestly. The answer was terrifying. "That's what this situation really revealed," Marcus continued. "Not just Chelsea's character, but everyone else's too. The people taking her side without hearing your story, they're showing you who they really are." "What do I do now?" Marcus smiled. "Now? You show them exactly what they lost." "What do you mean?" "I've been watching your work for months. You're ready for the senior developer position. 40% salary increase, equity options, leadership track. You interested?" My jaw hit the floor. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious. We'll announce it Friday." But Marcus wasn't done changing my life. "There's something else. Remember that girl you used to talk about? The pediatric nurse? Natalie?" "Yeah, we dated 2 years ago. I messed it up by getting too focused on work. Maybe it's time to fix that mistake." That weekend, I did something that terrified me. I called Natalie. "Brandon? Oh my God, how are you?" "I've been better," I admitted. "Listen, I know this might sound weird, but would you want to grab coffee this weekend? I'd love to catch up." "I'd like that," she said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. Saturday came, and I met Natalie at our old favorite coffee shop downtown. She looked exactly the same, beautiful in that natural way, no designer clothes or perfect makeup, just genuine warmth. "So," she said after we'd been talking for an hour about everything except my recent disaster, "I heard through the grapevine that you and Chelsea broke up. I'm sorry." "Don't be. It was the best thing that could have happened to me." I told her everything. The proposal, the thrown ring, the friend group drama, the self-doubt. Natalie listened without judgment, though her expression grew more horrified with each detail. "She threw the ring at your face? Brandon, that's assault." That's what Marcus said. But honestly, I'm grateful it happened. It showed me who she really was. "You didn't deserve that treatment. You're one of the kindest people I know." We talked for 4 more hours about her work saving kids with cancer, my promotion, our families, everything except jewelry and money. Sitting there with Natalie, I remembered what real connection felt like. "Natalie," I said as we were getting ready to leave, "I made a mistake 2 years ago. I let work consume my life and lost sight of what actually mattered. I lost you." She looked down at her coffee cup. "Brandon, I'm not asking for anything right now, but I'd like to take you to dinner. A real date, if you're open to giving us another chance." She looked up, her eyes bright. "I'd like that very much." Friday came with the promotion announcement. My salary jumped from $58,000 to $81,000 annually, plus stock options. By Monday, my LinkedIn was exploding with congratulations. But Chelsea had one more card to play that I never saw coming. Tuesday evening, I was at Murphy's sports bar with some work colleagues, celebrating the promotion. Murphy's was our regular spot, nothing fancy, just good food and cold beer while we watched the game. That's when she walked in. Chelsea, dressed to kill in a tight black dress that probably cost more than my car payment. She scanned the room until she spotted me, then walked over with the confidence of someone who'd never been truly rejected. "Brandon," she said, completely ignoring my colleagues. "Congratulations on your promotion. I heard the news." The entire bar seemed to quiet down. Murphy's wasn't big. Everyone could hear everything. "Chelsea," I said calmly, "what are you doing here? I think we should talk, privately. We have nothing to discuss." She sat down anyway, uninvited. My colleagues exchanged uncomfortable glances. "I've been thinking about what happened," she said, her voice carrying across the now silent bar. "I think there was a misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding. You made it very clear what kind of person you are." "I was emotional. I wasn't thinking clearly." "You were thinking very clearly about what your friends would say about the ring size. You were thinking very clearly about Instagram posts and status symbols." She leaned forward, lowering her voice but not enough. "But things are different now. You're successful, you have money, and there it is." I stood up, my voice clear enough for everyone to hear. "You only care now because you think I have more money." "That's not true. I care about you. You cared so much that you threw jewelry at my face and called me cheap in front of an entire restaurant." Murmurs rippled through the bar. People were pulling out phones now. "I made a mistake." Chelsea's voice was rising. "People make mistakes." "That wasn't a mistake. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. What you did was show me your true character when you thought I couldn't give you what you wanted. But we could have everything now. I already have everything. I'm dating someone who loved me when I was driving a Honda Civic and living paycheck to paycheck." Chelsea's mask finally slipped. "That nurse? What can she possibly give you that I can't? Peace, respect, love that doesn't come with a price tag. She's nobody special. I have a business degree. I understand success. She saves children's lives for a living. What do you do besides judge people for not spending enough money on you?" The bar had gone completely silent, except for the game playing on TV. Everyone was watching our drama unfold. Someone yelled from across the bar, "Dude, she's crazy." Even strangers could see what Chelsea really was. "You're making a huge mistake," Chelsea said, her voice shaking with rage. "The only mistake I made was wasting 18 months with someone who measures love by carat weight. When you realize what you've given up." "I didn't give up anything. I gained self-respect and a real partner who values character over bank accounts." Chelsea looked around at all the staring faces, finally realizing how badly she'd miscalculated this public confrontation. "This isn't over," she said, standing up. "Yes, it is. But I was wrong." Chelsea had one final desperate move. The next morning, my assistant buzzed me at work. "Mr. Mitchell, there's a Chelsea Morrison here. She says it's urgent." My stomach dropped. "Tell her I'm in meetings all day." "Sir, she says she's pregnant." The world stopped spinning. "Send her in." Chelsea walked into my office wearing a conservative dress, hair pulled back, minimal makeup. She looked like she was auditioning for the role of respectable girlfriend. "Hello, Brandon. If this is another manipulation, it's not. I'm 8 weeks pregnant." She placed an ultrasound photo on my desk. "That's your baby." I stared at the grainy image, my mind racing. "We'll need a paternity test." "Of course, I expected that. And if it's mine, I'll take full responsibility. Child support, custody, everything." Her face fell. "What about us?" "There is no us. If you're carrying my child, I'll be the best father possible, but that doesn't change anything between you and me. Brandon, we could be a family." "My family is Natalie. This child would be part of my life, but you would only be the co-parent." She started crying. "But I love you." "No, you don't. You love what you think I represent. If I was still making $50,000 a year, you wouldn't even be here." "That's not true." "Prove it. If I took a pay cut tomorrow, went back to my old salary, would you still want to be with me?" She hesitated. That pause told me everything. "Exactly." But when those test results came back, they revealed something that would destroy Chelsea's final desperate plan forever. The paternity test results came back a week later. I wasn't the father. Chelsea called immediately, sobbing. "Brandon, I made a mistake. I was confused about the timing. You lied about a pregnancy to manipulate me. That's the most disgusting thing you've done yet. I'm desperate. I don't know what else to do. Get therapy. Figure out why you think lying and manipulation are acceptable. And stay out of my life. I hung up and called my lawyer. The restraining order was served that afternoon. But the story doesn't end there, because someone at Murphy's had recorded Chelsea's meltdown on their phone. By Wednesday morning, #CheapRinggate was trending on Twitter. The video hit TikTok and went viral overnight. 2.3 million views in 24 hours. Chelsea's face was now the poster child for gold-digging behavior across 3 platforms. The comments were savage. She threw a ring at his face and she's the victim? This man dodged a nuclear missile. Look how desperate she got when she found out he got promoted. That nurse is wife material. This girl is a walking red flag. Chelsea tried damage control, but it was too late. The internet had spoken. Meanwhile, Natalie and I were building something real. 6 months later, I proposed to her in the same coffee shop where we'd reconnected. No fancy restaurant, no grand gestures. Just us and a ring that represented actual love. The ring cost me $15,000. Not because I had to prove anything, but because Natalie deserved something as beautiful as she was. When I proposed, she said yes before even looking at it. It's gorgeous, she said through tears, but I would have said yes to a ring pop. That's the difference. Our engagement photos went viral for all the right reasons. The ring was stunning, our happiness was obvious, and the comments were overwhelmingly positive. Chelsea tried to contact me one last time through Derek, her brother. She wants to apologize, he told me. She knows she messed up. Tell her I wish her well, but my life is moving forward. She should do the same. A year later, I heard she'd moved to another state and was engaged to some guy who owned a few restaurants. Good for her. Everyone deserves to find their level. But here's what that experience taught me. When someone shows you who they really are under pressure, believe them. When someone measures your worth by your wallet, they're not measuring your worth at all. They're revealing their own lack of character. The ring Chelsea threw at my face, I still have it in my office safe, not out of sentimentality, but as a reminder of the bullet I dodged. Because the most expensive mistake you can make is staying with someone who doesn't value you for who you are. And the most valuable thing you can do is recognize real love when it comes along. If you're dealing with someone who demands expensive proof of your feelings, walk away. Don't try to meet their standards. Don't try to change their mind. Don't try to prove your worth through material things. Just walk away with your dignity intact. Because somewhere out there is someone who will love you for your character, your kindness, your loyalty, not your credit limit. And that person is worth waiting for. If this story taught you something about recognizing genuine love versus transactional relationships, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment below. Have you ever had someone show their true colors when money was involved? Share your experience. I read every single comment. Remember, your worth isn't measured by the size of the diamond you can afford. It's measured by the size of your character. And that's something money can't buy.